Good morning, students. This is our SST 9th class, Chapter 2, Constitutional Design, Video 5 from Political Science. Father of the Constitution. Who is the father of Constitution? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, our drafting committee was elected by the Constituent Assembly on 29th August 1947. It elected Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to be its president. The Constitution, as prepared by the drafting committee, was circulated on 21st February 1948. This formed the basis of discussion in the outside of the Constituent Assembly. The drafting committees had 7 members apart from the chairman, which are B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman, and other members of the Constituent Assembly were Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, D.P. Khaitan, N. Madhav Rao, K.M. Munshi, N. Gopalaswamy Ayanagar, T.T. Krishnamachari Congress, Sayyid Muhammad Sadullah Muslim League. Like South Africa, India's constitution was also drawn up under very difficult circumstances. The making of constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. At the time, the people of India were emerging from the status of subjects to that of citizens. Earlier, because we were not of the status of citizen, we were subjects only because we were ruled under the kings. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. This was a traumatic experience for the people of India and Pakistan, as this was the time that there was this partition of India and Pakistan, and after that our countries trying to make the rules and regulations, and again those people who were there, those Muslims who were there in our country. So this was again a case of trust for Muslims as well as for Hindus, how these two communities who suffered a bitter past very recently, so how they are going to live together and establish a good society. So that was the challenge for the country's government and people as well. At least 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of the border in partition-related violence. The British had left it to the rulers of the princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or with Pakistan or remain independent. Okay, so another thing, something chaotic thing was done by Britishers before leaving. They left it to the decisions of the princely states whether they want to join India or Pakistan. This will be their own free will. The merger of these princely states was a difficult and uncertain task. When the constitution was being written, the future of the country did not look as secure as it does today. The makers of the constitution had anxieties about the present and the future of the country. The path to constitution. Despite all these difficulties, there was one big advantage for the makers of the Indian Constitution. Unlike South Africa, they did not have to create a consensus about what a democratic India should look like. Much of this consensus had evolved during the freedom struggle. So they are trying to explain, it is trying to explain that for South Africans, they need to understand how the constitution should be, what are the things should be there. But we have already discussed this thing was already evolving in the pre-independence time of our country. A national movement was not merely a struggle against a foreign rule. It was also a struggle to rejuvenate our country and to transform our society and politics. So our freedom fighters, they were quite clever as well. They were quite wise as well. They knew that they are fighting the British government, but at the same time they also were planning about how the independent India should look like and what things should be there in the independent India. So they were also working on these things simultaneously. There were sharp differences of opinion within the freedom struggle about the path India should take after independence. Such differences exist even today, yet some basic ideas had come to be accepted by almost everyone. The Constituent Assembly. Who then were the makers of the Constitution? The leaders who played an important role in making the Constitution. The drafting of a document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Its first meeting was held in December 1946, soon after the country was divided into India and Pakistan. So the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan, because earlier there was no idea that there would be any division, partition of our country. So the constitution was made according to that, not about the partitioned India. So later they made some changes in that too. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. The Assembly adopted Constitution in 26th November 1949, but it came into effect on 26th January 1950, and therefore we celebrate it as the, you will tell me in the class, what 26th January 1950 is celebrated as. To mark this day, we celebrate January 26th as Republic Day every year. We have already noted one reason above. The Constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone. It expresses a broad consensus of its time. Many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because the basic rules were not accepted to all major social groups or political parties. In some other countries, the constitution exists as a mere piece of paper. No one actually follows it, but it isn't the case for India. The experience of our constitution is different. Over the last half a century, and now it is more than 50 years of our independence, several groups have questioned some provisions of the constitution, but no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. Okay, there may be some changes, some provisional changes, but there is still the people never questioned the competence of our constitution, competency of our constitution. This is an unusual achievement for any constitution. Why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly more than 50 years ago? The second reason for accepting the constitution is that the assembly represented the people of India. So if you will see the members who were the members of the Constituent Assembly, they were not from a particular religion, caste, or from particular state. They were coming from different states with different religion, with different caste. So definitely if we see today, our parliament is like that only, that from different parts of our country, the people are coming as the MPs. In the same manner, the Constituent Assembly may not be like the general election, but still the different people were there, which is a full and truthful representation of our country. There was no universal adult franchisee at that time. So, because it was done before our independence, so obviously there will not be any universal adult franchisee. But if we see the member of the Constituent Assembly, we can understand that if in today's time it will be elected, it again will be perceived like that only, what it was at that time. So the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by all the people of India. It was elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislature. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all of the country. Thank you so much, students. So we will coming with another video in another class. Bye-bye.